Fire crews are working around the clock and in severe heat right now while they battle the Border 32 fire burning near Del Zura. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
And I'm Jesse Pagan. The fire is burning northwest of Tecate and has shut down roads nearby. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says they've shut down the Tecate port of entry, too. The flames have burned more than 4,400 acres at this point. 3
people have been injured. 2 are said to be in critical condition tonight. The flames have destroyed 10 structures so far, including 3 homes. This fire has forced hundreds of people to evacuate. Tonight, our Kirsten Holmes is live with the story of one family that evacuated a mobile home park as flames roared closer to their community.
But first, we go to Carrie Lane in for Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis tonight for a look at those weather conditions crews are facing right now. Carrie?
Yeah, so we have the winds that are kicking up in the afternoon hours into the night, and that pattern is going to continue through the weekend. Our highs today, it was pretty warm out there mixed with that dry brush, obviously recipe for disaster. Along the coast, we were in the mid-80s. Inland valleys topping out in the triple digits like Escondido, Valley Center, Ramona, Miramar at 94 today, El Cajon 97, 95 in Julian, and 107 in Borrego Springs. Over the next couple of days, we're going to see temperatures slightly cool along the coast tomorrow due to a coastal eddy, but then temperatures are going to ramp right back up on Saturday. We're going to see more moisture in our forecast on Saturday as well, which could increase our chance of thunderstorm activity out in the mountains. Why is that a concern? Dry lightning. If that hits any of the brush, that could easily start another fire. And again, the winds really kicking up in the afternoon hours starting on Saturday, but still breezy conditions between now and then in those late evening hours. And you can see the inland valley is going to top out in the triple digits on Saturday. As far as these conditions, I'll have coming up just how hot it's going to be over Labor Day. We'll talk about the humidity levels, how much moisture is coming back in. But in the meantime, it is not just the firefighters who have to deal with this heat. People who live in the evacuation zone are also impacted. CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes talked to a family who was in the middle of packing up when they had told that they had to evacuate. Kirsten, tell us more.
Hey, we are here at the Command Center for Firefighters and other first responders that serves as a base camp. This is where they come to take a break from that heat that Carrie just described. Earlier today, we met a family who was packing up their car with everything that they could because their home, their entire community had barely escaped those flames.
When we saw the fire, I was like, Mom, let's go, come.
We basically got just the basics just to get out of here. And they never notified me, and then it was within 20 minutes that I got the alert. And then we were just like, we just packed whatever we could.
Saida and her family are packing up so they can hurry up and get out of the Barrett mobile home and RV park after this video was taken yesterday, right after the Border 32 fire broke out. How long are you expected to be gone?
Probably, they said until electricity comes back, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon.
Are you prepared to be gone for like more than a week?
No. Okay. So we're probably going to have to come back.
Knowing that you're this close to the fire, are you guys going to come back and move back in, or what are you thinking long term?
I guess so. Yeah, we're just going to have to come back.
If you take a look over my shoulder, you can see smoke billowing in the air. And right behind me, you can see what's left of 2 trucks. Now, those 2 trucks were completely destroyed, but this mobile home park that's not too far down the road was left remotely untouched, even though the fire came that close.
It's just our clothes. My husband, he's a diabetic, so his insulin.
Saida says this isn't their first run-in with a wildfire.
It's in 2007. It got burned, the whole trailer park, and it was just this part that didn't burn down.
While emergency crews remind everyone to do their part to keep themselves and crews working the fire safe.
Please do not put our law enforcement and firefighters in the situation of not being able to appropriately respond to a fire because they are having to do emergency evacuations in an area where they have asked you and ordered you to leave.
The family you just heard from says that they are staying at a hotel tonight until they can figure out what they're going to do next. Their closest evacuation site is the Mountain Empire High School. It is acting as a shelter. That is their nearest shelter. And we got to let you know that pets are welcome. If there are larger pets or animals that need shelter, you can take those to the San Diego South Animal Shelter on Sweetwater Road in Bonita. Reporting live for CBS 8, I'm Kirsten Holmes. Back to you.
All right, Kirsten, thank you. And as she mentioned, with no school in session today, Mountain Empire High School is now a temporary evacuation shelter for people who may need it.
About 100 people have been staying there since last night, including families with children. Some people brought their pets. CBS 8's Kelly Hessedal spoke to some of the evacuees who shared their stories.
And there were some people who weren't comfortable sleeping in the shelter last night, so they slept outside in their cars. It has been a very rough 24 hours for these folks. We spoke to one man who says he recently lost his father, and then he just found out that the Border 32 fire destroyed his home and his business.
My stepmother, she was there. She was seeing flames coming up over the top of the ridge where the power lines are. She asked me on the phone, she goes, "Hey, should I call 911? I said, "Definitely."
Ronnie Facuda was driving to Escondido yesterday when his stepmom called him, panicked.
She was up at the top of the driveway on the road on Highway 94, and she said everything, the fire already engulfed everything down below. By the time I got, I don't know, a quarter way back, she called me, said everything's gone.
His Potrero home, as well as hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment for his salvage business, destroyed.
You know, it's numbing.
However, Facuda's biggest concern is finding his 3 missing dogs who got spooked during the fire and ran off.
They're more important than everything else because everything else you can buy.
For now, this temporary shelter at Mountain Empire High is home. The Red Cross says about 100 people stayed here last night, including families with children and their pets. One mom says she left the house so quickly she didn't have time to get shoes for her 18-month-old son.
It's tough.
Becky Burton is waiting to find out if her family's home is still standing. Her dog was just diagnosed with cancer.
We had to take her to the vet, and we were stuck in alcohol. And my nephew, he lives on the property, and he told us there was a fire. So we went up at 8, and then we got here in Campbell, and then they closed it. Just want to get home because we have a lot of stuff. We just put a new roof on. Windows, fireplace. You know, I have it all cleared and everything, but still, it's a lot to lose.
And so she's hopeful her family home is okay. She tells me that her mom has lived there for more than 60 years. As for Ronnie Facuda and his stepmom, I asked, where will you go? They tell me they have family in Texas as well as Arizona, so it sounds like they'll have relatives to stay with while they figure out what to do next. Kelly Hessedal, CBS 8.
Thanks, Kelly. You are being asked to conserve electricity right now because of all this heat to avoid straining the power grid. We are under a statewide flex alert, which began at 4 o'clock just a couple hours ago and will last until 9 o'clock tonight. You're being asked to set your thermostat to 78 degrees or higher. Turn it off if you can. Avoid using major appliances like your dishwasher, the washer and dryer. Turn off unnecessary lights and electronics, and avoid charging your electric vehicles until after 9 o'clock tonight. Another flex alert has already been issued for tomorrow, starting at 4, ending at 9, for the 3rd day in a row.
And a reminder, you can always send us your breaking news pictures and videos. Get on the CBS 8 app, click on the Near Me tab, tap your photos and videos, and click Share with Us. If you don't have it, download our app to stay up to date with the latest on the Border 32 fire. Meantime, the north end of Los Angeles County is dealing with the Castaic fire, now burning more than 5,000 acres. Right now, people living in the northern part of the county near Castaic are under mandatory evacuations because of what's called the route fire. Fire started around noon yesterday and has surrounded homes, burned structures, and closed highways. It's left at least 8 people hurt, 5 of them hospitalized for heat-related injuries.
Tonight, President Biden took aim at the far right during a primetime speech at Philadelphia's Independence Hall. His speech wrapped up about 30 minutes ago. In it, Biden said former President Trump's supporters pose a threat to American democracy and asked Republicans to condemn violent rhetoric.
MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy.
House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy responded to President Biden tonight in his own speech, saying he is not focused on the more important issues. We will have more tonight on CBS 8 News, live at 10 on the CW, and 11 here on CBS 8. The man who pleaded guilty to stabbing a hiker to death in Carlsbad was sentenced today in juvenile court to 7 years in prison. Haloa Baudet was 17 years old when he was arrested for murdering 68-year-old Lisa Thorborg. Her body was found along Hosp Grove Trail back in 2020. Prosecutors say Baudet's DNA was found on her shorts, and surveillance photos show him in the area shortly after the murder. He is now 18 years old. Prosecutors fought to move the case to adult court, but he pleaded guilty to the murder charge before that case went to trial.
We are learning more tonight about the fugitive arrested in El Salvador for the murder of his girlfriend here in San Diego. Raymond Macleod was on the run for 6 years and on the U.S. Marshals Most Wanted list. CBS 8's David Goffredson talked with a student from El Salvador who says Macleod was his English teacher for 2 years.
I remember he told me he's from Canada. Also, his name was Jack, just Jack.
Josue Castro took this photo of his English teacher in Sonsonate, El Salvador, at a school called Direct English, where he studied English for more than 2 years between 2017 and 2019. Little did he know his teacher was a fugitive, Raymond Macleod, wanted for murder.
I am shocked because that's why my teacher of English, also he was very friendly with me, explained me a lot of lessons of English. Also, he was next to me, in front of me, and behind me.
Josue also took this photo during a birthday celebration with his teacher and other students.
At the end of class, sometimes we went go out to take one snack and one coffee. Also, when we go out, he always light one cigarette, always smoking. Yeah, he told me, I smoke because I have stress right now.
Macleod was arrested Monday afternoon, still teaching at the same school in El Salvador. He was on the U.S. Marshals Most Wanted list, accused of murdering his girlfriend, 30-year-old Crystal Mitchell. She was found beaten and strangled to death in 2016 in an apartment off Mission Gorge Road. Macleod was described as a former Marine, an avid bodybuilder with tattoos, and a heavy drinker.
I couldn't see more tattoos because he always for the large sleeve t-shirt. He told me that he drinks some beers, but I'm never going to drink with him.
Looking back, Josue says Macleod had him totally fooled.
He never looks nervous. Normal life. I never thought he was a criminal person.
Josue spoke to me from Los Angeles, where he currently works in a restaurant. He said he never saw Macleod driving a vehicle, and he says Macleod claimed to be living in a rented apartment. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Thanks, David. Still ahead tonight, if you think it's hot here, we go farther east to see how people in our local deserts are coping with triple-digit temperatures.
Plus, another new discovery from NASA's Webb telescope, what we know so far about the planet outside our solar system.
As the Labor Day travel weekend kicks off, airline pilots are picketing. I'm Danya Backus with what they are demanding.
Every $1,000 you spend, or pay 0% interest for 60 months with no money down. Visit your local Ashley store or shop ashley.com today.
Just by doing your banking with Mission Fed, you help support hundreds of nonprofits that help keep our communities strong. We're not just in San Diego, we're part of San Diego.
Buying a used car from a vending machine? What could go wrong? Long delivery times, purchase errors, or damage to your vehicle. Instead, start local at Mossy Nissan. Every Nissan certified pre-owned vehicle comes with an unmatched 167-point inspection. Order online and we'll deliver to your door. Our 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty and 1-year complimentary maintenance plan keeps your car supported after your purchase. Visit Mossy Nissan online or at any 7 locations today.
You might already know that Prop 27 taxes and regulates online sports betting to fund real solutions to the homelessness crisis. So how will that new revenue be spent? New housing units in all 58 counties, including permanent supportive housing, tiny homes communities, Project Roomkey supportive hotel units, and intensive mental health and addiction treatment. In short, 27 means getting people off the streets and into housing. Yes on 27.
Just by doing your banking with Mission Fed, you help make good things happen for San Diego. We're not for profit, so we put money back into local communities. It's banking that works for everyone.
Ashley's Labor Day mattress sale is ending soon. Bring home a queen mattress for the price of a twin on select Ashley Sleep, Sealy, and Serta mattresses. Plus, upgrade your foundation to an adjustable base at no cost. Visit your local Ashley store or shop Ashley.com today.
The mom who spent 6
As we head into the Labor Day travel weekend, pilots are demanding their airlines do something about growing delays and cancellations.
Meanwhile, the federal government is taking steps to help travelers navigate the airline troubles. Danya Backus has the details from LAX.
With nearly a quarter of flights by U.S. airlines delayed this summer, pilots are calling on the airlines to fix operational problems that affect both them and travelers.
We live the same life they do. We sit in the airports waiting for flights as well. So we very much understand their frustration.
From Atlanta, where hundreds of off-duty Delta pilots demanded a new contract, to Dallas to Chicago, the union representing airline pilots held informational pickets Thursday at a dozen airports.
It's not just about pay. You know, obviously pay is an issue. It's about quality of life. Our schedules have never been worse.
It has been a difficult time to travel, with more than 120,000 domestic flight cancellations in just the first half of the year, brought on by issues including weather and staffing.
The government gave these airlines money to train their pilots and keep them current. They didn't do that. So the pilots sat at home without being current and qualified. When they brought them all back and they brought the schedules back to where they were before COVID, the pilots were not ready to fly because they weren't trained and qualified.
The pickets come on the same day the Department of Transportation launched an airline customer service dashboard, which tells passengers what services airlines provide when they are inconvenienced.
The dashboard shows what each major airline offers when a cancellation or delay is due to circumstances within the airline's control. Weather doesn't count. For instance, all but Allegiant and Frontier will cover your hotel for an overnight cancellation.
I'm kind of nervous. The kids need to get back home to school on time. They have back to school night, so I'm hoping that we make it on time.
The DOT is also finalizing new regulations that would require refunds for long delays or substantial schedule changes. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The Department of Transportation says airlines have to uphold the promises they make in their customer service plan. If they don't, the department says it will hold airlines accountable.
For the first time, astronomers have used NASA's James Webb Space Telescope to capture an image of a planet outside our solar system.
The exoplanet is a gas giant, which means it has no rocky surface and could never really be habitable. The new image also proves how the powerful infrared feature of the Webb telescope will eventually show us more planets beyond our solar system.
Carlene, it has been a hot stretch. I'm sorry, Carrie. Carlene is lucky she is not working this week, as you are, hard at work, tracking all this heat, the fires, poor firefighters, you think of them, and yeah. I can't even walk my dog. You know?
I know. It is pretty hot out there, and this isn't the end of it, unfortunately. I wish I had better news. It's going to be like this through the holiday weekend. As we get into about Sunday and Monday, temperatures will slowly start to come down, but I mean, it's going to be minimal. It's really going to take to the end of next week before we feel a drastic change in our temperatures and get some well-needed relief. This is a live look. You can see here, any of the haze you see here on your screen, this is actually smoke from the Border 32 fire. It's kind of resting here in the valleys, and the winds are going to shift over the weekend. That could kick the smoke up, and if you live in the surrounding communities, you may notice an increase in smoke over the course of the afternoon and evenings during this weekend. Cooler temperatures are expected mostly along the beaches tomorrow. We do have a coastal eddy that is forming in these overnight hours, so if you are along the beaches, you will wake up to some cloudy skies, patchy fog, kind of similar to what you did this morning. Temperatures being cooler, I mean maybe 1 or 2 degrees, not a huge difference. We are going to see an uptick in moisture. That is going to start on Saturday as we welcome back in some monsoonal moisture, and that could give us a chance of some thunderstorms over our mountains. The heat expected to peak over this holiday weekend, and then as we get into the start of next week, temperatures will slowly, very slowly start to come down. Live look outside. You can see the clouds already starting to make their way in with the sun setting along the coast. Right now, downtown San Diego, 79 degrees. Humidity is at 64%. The winds right now are calm, which is good for firefighters. Hopefully they can get a handle on it before the temperatures start to bump up on Saturday and the the winds really start to kick up. Current temperatures along the beaches mostly in the low 80s. Inland valleys still in the 90s for Escondido, Ramona, and Poway. El Cajon 88, Julian still 91 degrees, and Borrego Springs 107. So right now the winds are relatively calm. We are in the double digits, about 10 miles per hour down at Campo, which is down by the border by that Border 32 fire. As we get into the evening hours, things tonight, this is roughly right about now. Campo could see some gusts of about 16 miles per hour. You'll see as we get into Friday and even Saturday, those bump up. So Friday evening, 22 miles per hour in Campo, 13 in Borrego, but Friday night, I should say, around 11:30, 22 miles per hour in Campo. So that could cause a serious issue for firefighters if they are still working on that fire down at the border. Relative humidity, we are still very dry out in the mountains and deserts. A little more moisture along the coast, not much. This high pressure system driving the heat over the next few days. This will start to really expand over Saturday and Sunday when we see temperatures peak. And then, like I said, things will slowly start to taper off. We'll take a look at your 8-day microclimate forecast in just a bit. I know a lot of you want to see what the holiday weekend is going to shape up to be. But first, we have to put on our thinking caps. What is the name of the weather caused by the sun? A, sun weather. B, interstellar weather. C, space weather. Or D, the black hole sun weather.
I feel like I've never even heard the weather caused by the sun. That's just
See,
like hot
we got
weather.
you tonight. All you have to do is head to cbs8.com/weather quiz to make your guess. New month, new prize. Very exciting. You can win a grand prize 6-show package featuring a pair of opening night tickets to see these shows here that are on your screen.
Wow.
They will be live on stage at the San Diego Civic Theater as Broadway San Diego celebrates its 45th season. This prize is sponsored by Corky's Pest Control. Now, you get your new weather quiz question every weekday during this newscast and our 7 a.m. So good luck to everybody. And before we go tonight, we have 2 August winners for the 4 packs of tickets to see Cats.
All right.
Congratulations.
Yes. Drum roll, please. Congratulations to Tatiana R. and Gail F. Someone from the station will be in touch with you here shortly about claiming your prizes. Go enjoy.
So exciting.